Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hello,
Hi, guys. Hi,
streetwear
Simone. Hi, Indrani. I am so excited. I just want to thank you both for joining me this evening for the launch of Ruotolo.net. It's so exciting. I started this journey about a year ago at HPS
I was with you.
Indrani.
I was with you.
Yes, you were. You were with me. And you said, and when, just so everybody knows, thank you for all joining today. I am here with two unstoppable women. And this has been a a little bit more than a year-long journey for me through COVID, through pandemic. And what Indrani and I were just speaking about is we were at a speaking school called HPS, Heroic Public Speaking, last January when we started this journey together. And I said, I need a brand new website. And she said, I have the person for you. And then I asked somebody else next to me, oh, I'm thinking about a website. And they said, I have a person for you. By the end of the day, this woman, the name of Amber, I had her, every single person in the class connected me to her. By the end of the day, she was like, I feel like I know Lauren. I have to do this website. And so I am so excited to introduce this new website. For those of you that know me, this is a passion of mine, is to really speak my mind. Well, if you know me, you know that I speak my mind all the time.
I was going to say, there was a time when you didn't?
No, my mother is probably on here and she knows. She's like, no, she's been speaking her mind since she's literally in utero.
Yes.
I was probably like kicking and screaming when she did something that I didn't agree with or whatever it may be, or something that somebody said that I didn't like. But I'm also here with Simone Barry, who is a very good friend of mine, is another unstoppable woman doing incredible things today and is fighting for the rights of women and fashion, diversity in fashion. And so, just thank you both for being here. Indrani, I call my mama bear. She was with me. She is my mentor in speaking and all things really throwing positivity to women and showing me how to not be silent. Not that I am, but to even just say, Lauren, you can do this. And sometimes you just need that little baby push in order to do it. And so I got that push. And I am excited to showcase Ruotolo.net. So I'm just going to take everybody through the site.
Yes.
And then we're going to have a really incredible conversation. So here we go, everybody. So this entire site is about me being one in a million kind of person that was born with a very rare disease that is called McCune-Albright syndrome. There is no treatment and there is no cure. So what did I have to do? I had to step into being my most unique self. And that's literally what this entire site is about. You will go on this incredible adventure with me through this site. I will teach you how to laugh. Sometimes we will need to cry together, but every day we will be unstoppable. And I will teach you this through what I call Lauren's lessons. So this is a little bit about who I am on the homepage, a little bit about my new book called Unstoppable in Stilettos, which is now in its second version. So you all can click and buy now.
Yes. Yes.
My message and meaning. And like I said before, this site and who I am today and everything that I digest every day is to teach you how to be unstoppable the way that I have been taught. And more importantly, how to be innovative in your own personal life. When we talk about innovation today, people really feel that innovation is science and tech, Well, no, it can also be life design. And I have designed the life that I want to lead based on the circumstances that were given to me from the time that I was born. And so we'll talk a lot about that throughout the site. If you want to join me on this journey, Lauren in Action every day on Instagram. Also, please subscribe. You can get my emails. But you know, the biggest portion of the site is really the speaking, because that is what I'm most passionate about. And so I have 3 talks that I'm ready to give at any moment. And each of them are identified on the speaking page of this site.
Lauren, what are the names of the talks? Because let's say somebody is just distracted for a moment. I want them to hear you say the topics.
Sure. So the first topic is you can be 1 in a million innovator. And then the second topic is just take 5. And the third topic is accept your limitations as you make your climb to finding yourself. And each of these were done through lessons that I have lived and lessons that I continually are learning about every day. And so we spoke a little bit about how to be 1 in a million innovator before, when I talk about innovation through life design. And so through this talk, I share my innovation of life design, and I showcased how I crushed everything that I ever put my mind to. At the age of 5 years old, I had to make a decision, and it was to either stand or to sit, because what life threw at me, life kept on throwing lemon after lemon after lemon. And by the time I was 5 years old, I couldn't walk anymore. And my physical therapist, Carolyn, along with my parents, Holly and George, said to me, Lauren, do you want to be on this journey to stand up and walk? We know that it's going to be tough. We know that this is going to become your job, but I did it. And I said yes at the age of 5. And so I will teach you through this talk how I had this kick-ass attitude at the age of 5. And I am 44. Not that we want to say that too loud, but yes.
Did you say 34?
I did. I actually said 24.
That's what I thought I heard.
Yes. So now at the age of 24, I'm super wise, and I'm going to just teach you guys everything that I learned, and how no matter what life throws at you, you can absolutely be a confident, kick-ass innovator. Look, Indrani, there you are.
So, Lauren.
Yes.
I know of a story of you being in Greece and climbing those crazy hills with your bracelets, your superpower bracelets. And I thought, I don't know if I could do that. And you went up and down because the property where you guys were staying were way up. It was way up high. So I want to tell people, when she says I learned, she meant I did, and then I figured it out, and now I'm teaching you.
Yes. Oh my God. I went to Greece with 2 of my best friends, and it really was such a journey. We picked this hotel because we had to look at the water, obviously, and it was literally like 80 steps up and down to the room. And it happened to be the honeymoon suite. And I was with 2 of my guy friends that are some of my best friends today.
Was that the Mykonos?
What?
Is it Mykonos?
It was not Mykonos. We were in another part of Greece. And Mykonos we did go to, but we partied there. We didn't have to walk many steps, thank God. But yes, but we did party there a lot. And I don't know, I'm going to stop my screen so I can see you beautiful ladies. But I had to learn how to go up and down the steps constantly. I mean, I knew how to go up and down steps, but imagine you're on vacation and you have to take 81 steps up, 81 steps down, 81. And you forget something, you forget your bag, you forget this, you forget that, you're up and down and up and down. And so these little puppies, they got a workout. I mean, by the end of the trip, I had to get new crutch tips. I mean, legitimately, they were like worn out, along with the stilettos that, of course, I was wearing.
Of course you were. That's exactly who you are, though. Nothing ever stops you. Like, as far as the definition of unstoppable, it should be your picture. It should be your bio. I've never, ever seen you low or beating yourself up or worried. You have like this spirit and this energy that just exudes. I can do this. And of course I'm doing this. Like, I've never, so when you say unstoppable, I literally only ever think of you. Because you immediately you embody that. You embody it in such a way that you make everyone else around you also feel like, yeah, I'm unstoppable. Yeah. And from the first day I met you, I was just like, who is this powerhouse? Like, you walked in with just, boom, I'm here.
I met Simone through one of my best friends from childhood, Jason Licker, who I know him and his family are watching right now.
Simone, are you from Jamaica?
I am from Jamaica.
I'm from Trinidad. It's no wonder she surrounded herself with good West Indian women.
Of course, it's the food also. She's always around. Honestly, she's always around great people. There's never been a time where Lauren says we're going out and I haven't been either in stitches, dying, dancing on a table. Generally, my liver hurts the next day where I'm like, why? But it's always like, it's just pure laughter. We just had dinner. And I mean, it's COVID time and everyone's very serious and kind of like everyone stays into their, and we were just laughing and making jokes, and that energy that she brings, like, I've missed her so much during this whole time, because you need that type of person in your life. It's so important.
Well, I think that one of the decisions Lauren made at 5 was not only to stand, but to be present every single moment. I think I can safely say that if Lauren decides to not stand and not be present, it's because she's resting.
She's probably asleep.
And even when I'm resting, I'm not.
Right. Because every time you make a decision to be a place, you bring your whole physical body and your whole self and all of your resources. And you're so generous with advice and with love and with care. And in a minute.
And a kick-assing. She's also really good.
When you need it. You need it.
But that's the type
of I'll save it. My shirt is fun today.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it is. So Simone, tell us a little bit about what you're doing today, because I'm really fascinated at the work. And I have to say, Simone is on Clubhouse, I think 24 hours a day, and has like 8,000 followers. Whoa. I can't even figure out how to raise my hand. I'm like, can I raise my hand? I raised my hand yesterday for a minute and they were like, it's not your turn. And I was like, it's always my turn. I don't understand.
So social media in general is not my friend. I'm not really a huge fan of it. But with Clubhouse, because it's all verbal, I mean, that's where I love, because I love to talk. So if you look at the rest of my social media, there's nobody. But on Clubhouse, it's really interesting to me because I'm able to engage and really connect to my community and share what I know. So my knowledge is wealth to other people, the things that just come to me every day and through fashion and things like that, they don't know about. So if I can offer in service and in assistance to give them wisdom, I mean, why not? And I was literally on there till 3 o'clock last night. So I'm heavily concealed. I woke up like, oh no. Honestly, because you're talking, you totally forget. And it's like, I've created my own like community and tribe there. So
just talk a little bit about what you're talking about, because I find it pretty fascinating. And I mean, and you have worked in fashion for, 20 plus years.
Yes. So I've been in fashion for quite a long time. There's a lot of great things that are involved in it, and a lot of things that I just, at a certain point, you have to make the change you want to see in the world. And for me, sustainability is a huge issue. We overproduce. We're the second dirtiest industry in the world next to oil, which says a lot. And then our lack of inclusion, the fact that Black and brown women are continually underrepresented in these industries. And for me, I'm very focused on economic equality. So it comes from building my own table. I'm not really pressed anymore to sit at their table. I've sat at it and I've been the only one, and I'm not really interested in that. I'm interested in building my table where everyone represents whoever they are and can truly embrace their individuality. So I'm creating a fashion tech brand that through the narrative of sustainability, so being able to use data to lock into key points to ensure that we're not overproducing, ensuring that we're not oversampling, producing what we're actually buying, ensuring that the product in itself is circular, and if it does, worst case scenario, end up in a landfill, it's biodegradable, so it won't last the 200 years that most garments last. Additionally, I'm really excited about the virtual portion of our business because it really engages in the tech and the reality of what's going on, whether it be in the metaverse or in the gaming system, where I can create garments that are a little bit more fun and a little bit more unique because it's sustainable in the assets that they'll never be physical product. And you can engage in it in this virtual world. What I'm most proud about is that my entire team is all Black and brown women. So when we're looking at companies that are saying where you are, I'm like, well, we're here and they're mine.
Well, and I also, I mean, I do have to, I love that. And I also have to say that besides just including Black and brown women in fashion, I think that over the past few years, you are also seeing a sense of fashion for the disabled community.
So
and it's the first time that we're really ever included. And I am just beyond excited about this opportunity.
Some of the product that we're developing, and I told you when I was doing my avatars, you were inspiration. I wanted one on crutches. I wanted one that everybody reflects. So when my specific intention right now is focusing on Black and brown women, but overall, we exist, represents all marginalized communities, anyone that has never seen themselves reflected back. The idea that as a young child or as a young girl, she needs to see people that look like her so she knows that she can be whatever she wants to be. It can't be this monolithic look of this is the only prototype of what's happening. And I'm so glad you mentioned adaptive, because in our first launch, we won't have it, but as we launch Pure Seasons, I am having adaptive. So we're full-size spectrum. It's all unisex to include non-binary, to include eventually adaptive, so allowing easier access into it. And these are actually really easy things to do. And it boggles my mind that the industry that really should be focused always on innovation and on creativity continues to ignore these huge market sectors. The adaptive industry is a $600 million market. There's 4 people that are actually engaging in it. When you look at the plus size market, they ignored it for 15 years and still continue to ignore it. So I think that the idea of inclusion really needs, from my lens right now, I focus on one, but as we move through We Exist, it's to include all for anyone that hasn't been seen. And it's not important, it's a necessity at this point. It's not something that you can ignore or not address. At this point, consumers need to also be addressing it with their dollars. And if companies aren't reflecting the world that we see, your dollars should reflect that.
When I look at a product being advertised now, whether it's print or on TV, I'm asking myself one question: who are they selling to me, but in a body that's, 12 years old, and they're saying, okay, can I just talk about the 12-year-olds talking about wrinkle cream? Enough already. Enough. You don't even know what a wrinkle is. Okay, okay, I'm off that soapbox. But if I don't see something reflected in my skin or my age, I am not giving money to that company anymore.
But that's what we need to do. We need to reflect the change we want to see, and the best way to do that is through our dollars.
Yeah,
the reality is.
But it's also like, I just think that as marketers or as content providers or even as consumers, we need to start teaching people what they want to see too, right? So
Agreed.
we can't just say, oh, I can't just raise my hand. I think that people with disabilities should be included. You can't raise your hand. I think that all Black and brown women should be included. You need to make that happen. You need to use your voice. And for so long, we have been silenced and we haven't stood up for it. We've always been there. We've always thought about it, but we never really had this true opportunity to come forth and say, I need this. I can make that change. I had to do that at the young age of 5. I had to say, I see myself walking, right?
Yeah.
But I think that, this past 12 months or 13 months that we have been in this pandemic, it has given us a moment to reflect, a moment to say, this is what I now want out of life. We have literally been inside for so long with our thoughts and maybe with people that we love, or maybe we now hate them. Maybe we have made new relations, whatever it may be. But it is time for us to not be silenced anymore. And I think especially as women, we also felt that we can never speak, right? Or like people like me, I mean, not like me because I will speak all the time, but being a disabled person, I never really thought about until I got in the workforce that there were not going to be other people that looked like me, that spoke like me, that, and now it's something that I constantly look for. And I want to create that change, because no matter where we're working, if we never work from home again, never go to the office again, we still on Zoom or wherever we may be want to see people that look and represent us. And that is the biggest thing that I've learned. We have all of these movements today, and the pandemic has given us, I think, that voice. While there have been such tragedy, there has also been a lot of greatness that has come through.
And I think you young people, you
what? Your rights included with us,
baby. I'm 67 and I am not going back.
You do not look 67, and you're right.
Isn't she like unbelievable?
Thank you.
And energy. You have no idea how much energy this woman has. It is unbelievable.
So for all the people out there who you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on Clubhouse, speak your truth. If there is something you want that is not being produced, like for me, one of my biggest peeves is when I want nude colored shoes, I want it my nude color, please. Don't give me like beige shoes on dark brown legs. Ask for it every time you go somewhere. Ask for it and then put it out there. I asked for this from this store and they looked at me like I had 6 heads. Put it out there. If they start hearing, oh my gosh, somebody asked for it and it's not even on our radar, maybe it'll change. But if we don't ask for it, it's not going to change.
So I think a lot of that is also just us being comfortable with taking up space being comfortable with being uncomfortable, having uncomfortable conversations, because change doesn't come in a comfort zone. Change comes when you honestly face what's happening. And a lot of times women, we have a tendency just to put our heads down, just get the work done, just get it done, just get it done. And it's now our obligation for this younger generation to raise our heads, open our mouths, and say what needs to be said, because you speak truth to power. And if we're not speaking these truths, there will be no power. And biases, racism, just the general prejudices that live in silence. And they go in silence. But when you attack them and say, no, that's not actually acceptable, please don't use that, don't say that.
Yes.
But we've always, you don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. And what's great about this year is that it's time for some uncomfortable conversations, because we can no longer continue this vicious cycle that we're going through.
I'm just going to tell a story, because everybody wants to talk about what they can and cannot say. but nobody says what they can and cannot say to people that look like me.
That's true.
That's very true.
There is no rule book. You know what? I want to write the rule book, as we're saying, and then I want to put it out there. So I'm going to create my own dictionary about what you can and cannot say. Because the other day, a few weeks ago, and I posted this on my Instagram, and I was absolutely livid. I went to go visit a friend in the hospital, and I'm waiting for my COVID test so I could get my temperature checked and they could sign me in, take all my information. And I asked the woman where the Starbucks was. And she said to me, oh, it's up the stairs to the right. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And I'm standing at the desk. Well, all of a sudden, she just looks at me and doesn't move. She's sitting, I'm standing. And she just says, oh, I'm so sorry, you're sitting down. So therefore, since you're in a wheelchair, you need to take the elevator. That's that way. And I was like, I literally like looked right and I looked left and I was like, no, I'm standing. And she was like, oh, I guess you're just really short. First of all, you cannot say that. First of all, I am standing. Okay. So I just don't even understand the concept, because if I said anything to her, it would have been like alert, 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 alert. People would have been like chasing me, but people still believe that they have that opportunity to say whatever the hell they want to me. And you know what? And I have to honestly believe it's because nobody ever taught them what either to say or what to not say. And
so Lauren, in this case, right, after she made that error, what could she have said that didn't put the other foot in her mouth? She already had one foot in her mouth, and then she put the other foot in her mouth, and she was sitting on her ass. What else could she have said that would have shown you and other people that, oh, I really made a mistake and now I am going to correct it?
Did she even say, I'm sorry?
What?
Did she even say, I'm sorry?
No, I think because she was embarrassed and she just walked away, right?
Oh
no.
And I of course had to say something to her, and then I had to say, and then it was interesting. So then I went upstairs to go visit my friend, and I said to the nurses what happened, and she was like, that person should be spoken to about that. Do you want the information? You know, we could write her up. And I said, you know what? It's not a matter of writing her up. It's a matter of changing the conversation. And it's a matter of educating. And I think that's what I really want to get out of my website. And that's what I want to get out of, you know, what I'll just call like my side hustle here, right? Like it's educating people on being alert on what you can and cannot say. And it's a matter of inclusion. You know, you get nervous, you see somebody like me walking and you're like, oh, she looks fabulous, but she's short. She walks with crutches. I don't know what to say. So you know what I'll say? May God bless you, because I get more blessings in the street than anybody could ever imagine. And thank God I believe in God, because otherwise I would be like,
what?
I mean, like, but it's just, you know, it's truly unbelievable. And so, you know, if there is one thing, that's why, you know, I'm going to take you guys back to my site for 1 second, you know, Indrani, where you said it, you know, talk a little bit about, yes.
Lauren, I want you to remember, maybe we all have forgotten that March is Women's History Month.
Yeah.
And you are making history in this moment. You are making history. And our invitation, yours and Simone's and mine, is everyone gets to step into their life and know it's a historical moment.
Right.
So how are you going to make it worthwhile?
Absolutely. So just with saying that is, we have to just take 5, right? Because in a world of 7 billion people, I want to teach you how to stand out, stand tall, and be proud. And so, that's like the second talk that I really want to give, because if we gave every person 5 minutes just to ask questions or just to get to know you, right? You could have met your new best friend. You could have met your husband, your wife, your confidant, your mentor, your new employer. But we don't give people the opportunity to get to know each other today, because we can't get past of what we physically see. If we stop just seeing directly what's in front of us, see a little through past that, and just say, you know what? Yes, this woman looks great, and I want to get to know her. I don't want to just get to know her because she walks with crutches and I'm nervous and I don't want to say anything. So I might as well just not talk to her and walk right past her.
I'll just bless her.
If you, right? If you gave me the opportunity to just get to know me, I guarantee you that my disability will go away and you will see me as a person.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. Right?
I've seen it. I mean, the reality is people have so many biases and understanding, and unfortunately we can blame media for that, but that's why you're so important. Why your visibility, amplifying your voice is so important, because just by you being present, you're already changing the narrative. Just by you being you, the narrative is already changing, because you can't now see you and say, wait, whatever I'm thinking in my head is not aligning, because it's not really true.
Right.
It's just something that's been told to us. And that's why it's so important to confront those types of things. Like the next time someone says, God bless you, say, I am blessed.
I am blessed.
Do you see these shoes? I am blessed. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I should
Or
say.
how about I am God?
My dad's a hairdresser. Thank you for the great hair. Like, thank you. Or just thank you for getting to know me. How about that? Right? Instead of this summer, I was outside, just walking to go get something, and I came from a Pilates class. Not a class. I was the only one in the studio because of COVID. But this woman walked over to me. She said, I love your outfit. Where did you get it? And I told her where I got it from. And then she said, oh my God, are you coming from a workout class? And I said, yes. She goes, you can work out? I mean, it's like sometimes I just want to say, I can. Can you breathe?
And you can.
Are you breathing?
You really try.
Oh my
God. I'm really trying to hold it in and not want to punch people in the face or say something, that's just going to make them explode. But, it really is. If we just took 5 minutes to get to know each other, I think that we would probably live in a much happier world, right? Because once we start to remove all the layers underneath, we're all just people. No matter what color we are, no matter mode. I mean, this is a mode of transportation. It is nothing but a mode of transportation. It gets me from A to B, right? Your feet are your mode of transportation. Mine don't work as well. So I have assisted feet here. And if you just looked at it like that, you would just say, you wouldn't look at it.
My eyes don't work as well, and I have assisted eyes right here.
Exactly, right? So my glasses are my crutches, or, as they said in HPS when we were there, they're my bangles.
They're your
bangle bracelets. So
I remember being in the session when you held up those bangles and people erupted with applause. Because she was standing on her stilettos, with this FU face, which wasn't to us, but to other people. And she just did this, and I have never been more proud of my daughter at that moment. By the way, she's my adopted daughter. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I am honored to be your adopted daughter. But I mean, again, Simone, you talk about, just to be seen for who you are and what you offer to the world. That's all we could ever ask for.
Agreed.
Right.
Everything else is just candy on top.
And to accept that we don't all, our uniqueness is what makes us so special, and that we don't need to live in this monolithic society, which honestly would be extremely boring if everyone had this one look as per network television in
Right.
the last like 40 years, where it was just, then you would see this. But all these narratives, and what's so great about this time that we're in is that we have the opportunity now to really kind of press those buttons and confront things like this and be seen and be visible. And I commend you for putting yourself out there always, and always standing up for what you believe in, and always allowing your voice to be heard, to share, because that's going to help someone else.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if we can change narratives one person at a time, that's how
That's how we change the world, one
That is how
person
we
at a
change the
time.
world.
there's a word like contagion, that collective
Exactly.
contagion that changes one person's thoughts, and then they go home and tell their family that's 5 people, and so on and so on and so on. Instead of the negativity, we
Mhm.
can spread that positivity in the same way.
Right, absolutely. And and that just takes me to the last talk that I want to give, is to accept your limitations as they make your climb to finding you. That's exactly what we have been talking about, right?
Right.
So anything could be a limitation in life, but accepting it and accepting who you are is the first step. Because then once you accept who you are, nothing can stop you. You are literally on that raceway to winning.
Because when
single
someone points out, well, you go, yeah, I know, thank you, get out of my way.
Right.
You're just like, I got this. It's okay.
Absolutely. And you know what? And sometimes we just need people to teach us that, right? It's not going to be ingrained in everybody. Not everybody is going to be like us, and they're not going to just say whatever is on their mind and want to teach. Some people want to be led. And
some people want to be led.
Right?
Well, there are 3 leaders right here. You can follow all the leaders here.
Exactly. And
It's actually a really great soca song. Follow leader, leader, leader.
With the right amount of twerking.
Yeah. Lauren can twerk.
Oh, I will absolutely not today. But once we get out of the pandemic, I do hope to twerk again one day.
You will. We will have a twerk fest.
We will. So guys, I just, we're coming up on time, and I just want to end it because I think it's always what would be if we look back at who we are and what we've overcome and what we have taught and what we still want to be, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Oh, let me go first because I'm closer to the end than either of you.
Oh, stop.
The piece of advice that I would give to my younger self is this: Indrani, people do not know what they're talking about. They just don't know. So if you want something and they have something to offer, just don't eat it. It's okay.
I feel that.
Definitely. And Indrani, what do you then teach all of the women and girls? Like, what is the piece of advice that you tell them that are hurting every day and don't have a voice or feel like they can't have a voice?
So, and especially in this pandemic, everyone was stuck, and 1 in 3 women was stuck with an abuser. And the piece of advice that I gave that was especially poignant in the last year was, you have to pee many times a day. Go to the bathroom, lock the door, turn on the water, and breathe. If that's the only space you can take it. So when the pandemic is over and people have more movement, we still have to take space. We have to take space to breathe, to regroup, maybe to go back out and be hurt again. But if we take care of us, then we get stronger and may find the courage to one day create a safety plan to leave.
1,000%. There's that when you're on a plane, they always say to put your oxygen on first, and then put it on someone else. I think that's just a simple example. Until you're whole, you can't help anybody else. You have to help yourself first. And especially as women, I think that that feeling of, oh, we're being selfish or we're doing this because we have to do everything for everyone else. But until we're whole and until we feel good about ourselves, it's impossible to help anyone else. You're going to just get beaten down. You're going to have martyrism. You're going to feel like everybody's taking advantage, and that negativity festers. So what I would tell my younger self was that it's okay to be different, that I don't need to fit in and assimilate to make everybody else feel comfortable. I did that most of my life. Before my father passed, he said, you know, it hurts me that you think being different is something bad with that. It's what makes you strong. It's your superpower. And it really is that my uniqueness is who I am. And in that wholeness, whether it be like I told Lauren, she doesn't know this, but I spoke in a very different voice to assimilate. Kids were teasing me, so I just changed the way I spoke. I speak like this to my family, and I would just switch back and forth to fit in. I chose not to do that anymore. Within authentically, and that word, everybody uses it so often, but to be who I am. And in just that small little thing, I feel whole, I feel seen because I see myself. I'm not trying to create these personalities or to make everyone feel comfortable. I need to feel comfortable. And that's what's first. So that is
so important, is self-love first. Everything else can be second. You need to love yourself, because no one can truly love you. And you can never see that light, and you can never be part of a real conversation or anything if you don't love yourself.
Well, and no one can ever truly love you, but you can never truly accept that someone can love you. If you're busy hating 10%, 15%, whatever percent of your, I'm okay except for, and I'm okay except for, and someone is ready to say, but I like all of you, but if you don't like a piece of you, then, you know, it's not going to work.
Then you're fragmented, and then you're not, that feeling of wholeness, I have to say, you embody it, Lauren. You've already, I think from a young age, you've already been kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? You've trained for this. It's almost like an Olympian. You've trained your whole life for this moment as an adult. Where I think as women, we struggle sometimes with that, but that feeling of just wholeness and being grounded and centered in who you are and being present for anything that comes, and understanding that people's issues are not your issues. How dare even that woman that said you were short and did not even think to say, I'm sorry. Her uncomfortability is, I mean, there's not, I'm sorry.
Well, it's ignorance too.
Yeah. But at the same time, she felt uncomfortable, so she ran. Instead of just facing that discomfort and have that conversation. We have to be okay with having those conversations, because that is how we change and how we grow. And it's okay not to always know exactly what to say. How else are we ever going to know how to learn? I mean, this is the whole point of a human being. Don't you want to learn? Don't you want to grow? Don't you want to change? Like, do you really want to be the same person you always are? That's
so what do we have to say? Just take 5. Take 5,
right?
Yeah. Just take 5. Change. You can change somebody's life in 5 minutes. Just get to know them.
Yeah.
Take 5 minutes and look at LaurenRuotolo.net.
Yay.
I think
I would like everybody to put in the chat, yes, I will take 5 minutes to look at LaurenRuotolo.net. Can we make that commitment to Lauren? Write it down. I will take 5 minutes to look at LaurenRuotolo.net.
I can't write it because I'm not allowed to chat, but
I'm right. Yeah, but I already did. I already took more than 5 minutes. I was like, by the way, that red dress on you.
Everything.
Thank you. Thank you. My friend Rudy took those pictures, and I was like, oh my God. Who is this? Fabulous. Thank you, Jonathan, taking 5 minutes now.
Take 5 now. Yes.
I also love that we're all wearing red lips. All 3 of us have red lips.
All red lips. It's the unflappable color. It's a power color. It makes
unflappable.
You know what? Red runs across the gamut. No matter what color you are, no matter what mode of transportation you use, red looks fabulous on everybody.
Looks good on every skin color. It looks great.
Right? Fashion, everybody looks good in red.
Agreed.
Mike Connors already took 5 minutes. Photos are awesome. We're doing it. I love it.
Go, Mike, go.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so
Thank
much.
you, Lauren.
This journey is just beginning tonight.
Yes. Thank you for
Great.
inviting me to be on it with you. I love you so much.
I can't wait to see you.
I love you. Thank you. So nice to meet you, my Trinidad.
Nice to meet
Simone.
you, my
Thank
Jamaica
you.
We need
friend.
to start a clubhouse chat together.
Let's
We
do
need
it.
to, yes.
Let's do it. Indrani, let's do it. Let's start a
your
room.
number. I'll connect with you.
Yes.
I'm very happy to do that.
All right. Thank you all. And thank you everybody for joining in. Family, friends, people on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, around the world. Mwah.